Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Nicken Sugesti and PM3. I will review the journal Software Development to Reduce Misconceptions Using Conceptual Change Text Strategy on Chemical Bonding. I will review the structure, review the content, and my conclusion. The structure. The title of this journal is Software Development to Reduce Misconceptions Using Conceptual Change Text Strategy on Chemical Bonding. Authors Sofranita Ramadhani, Taiwan Putri, and Sukarmin. The abstract of the journal is the aims of this research is to determine the feasibility of software to reduce student misconception using conceptual change text strategy on chemical bonding matter. This research is using research and development (R&D) design with first grade Man Sidoarjo's student as a subject. The instrument used are student response, student activity observation, and pretest post-test software developed using PHP hypertext preprocessor programming language. The result analyzed using descriptive quantitative method that can be concluded as: first, software is valid sought by content validity average percentage is 88.57%, with very valid criteria, and construct validity average percentage is 88.89%, with very valid criteria. Second, the practice of software got 87.41% with very practice criteria. Third, software effective in detect and reduce misconception that showed by percentage that average shift of conception from misconception to now the concept is 83.53%. The keyword of this journal is software misconception, conceptual change text, chemical bonding. Introduction. Chemistry is a branch of science that contains facts, concepts, laws, theories. The concepts in chemistry are related to one another, and most of them are abstract. For that reason, while understanding one concept, it will affect other concepts. The learning becomes complicated because students must be thoroughly understood one concept before continuing to other concepts. Concept is a collection of facts, objects, events, and others that all have the same characteristic or attribute. One can observe the characteristic or attributes of each of these concepts to be able to distinguish between one concept with another. The conceptual structure that is sequential and interrelated with one another, as in chemistry, becomes a supporting factor for frequent misconception. Misconceptions can occur because the concepts mastered by students are still incomplete and simple or different. The inability of students to distinguish the characteristic of concept. Students who do not understand the previous concept, the language used by students, learning resources used by students, and concept example. The methods of this journal is the research design used was a research and development method. Research and development written by Sugiono. The R&D method is a research method used to develop and test a product. There are 10 development steps in this method, namely: first, potential and problem; second, data collection; third, product design; fourth, design validation; fifth, design revision; sixth, Product trial. 7. Product revision. Next, trial use, then product revision and mass production. This study aims to test the feasibility, so the R&D method is only until the product trial step. Results and discussion. The product trial was conducted by 15 students on first grade in Sidoarjo. The subject chosen by conducting a written test on all students in the class to take 15 samples of students who conducted misconception on chemical bonding. The data obtained are the results of students' response obtained from students' assessment of the software, the result of the observation of students, activities obtained from observation of students, and the result of students' conception shift obtained from the method of pre-test and post-test in the software based on the method for tier test. Based on previous studies, it was found that the use of conceptual change-tech strategies in the classroom would be effective in reducing misconceptions. In addition, the study also states that the use of software can be used to reduce students' misconception on chemical bonding material, which is still often the case. The conclusion of this journal is based on the results of the student response, the result of observation of the student activities, and the result of the student conception shift. It can be concluded that software is valid, so the by content validity average percentage is 88.57% with very valid criteria, and construct validity average percentage is 88.89% with very valid criteria. The practicity of software got 87.41% with very practice criteria. Software effective in detect and reduce misconception that showed by percentage that average shift of conception from misconception to now the concept is 83.53%. So the software is appropriate to be used to detect and reduce misconception. This is reference of this journal. Okay, next I will review the content. First, what is purpose this research? Second, what design are used in this research? Third, what instruments were used in this study? What is purpose this research? The purpose of this research is the aims of this research is to determine the feasibility of software to reduce students' misconception using conceptual change-tech strategy on chemical bonding method. What design are used in this research? This research is using research and development (R&D) design with first grade Sidoarjo students as a subject. What instruments were used in this study? The instruments used are student response, student activity observation, and pre-test post-test sheet. How to test it? The product trial was conducted by 15 students on first grade in Sidoarjo. The subjects chosen by conducting a written test on all students in the class to take 15 samples of students who conducted misconception on chemical bonding. How the result of observation of students, activities obtained from observation of students, and the result of students' conception, shift obtained from the method of pre-test and post-test in the software based on the method for tier test. Based on previous studies, it was found that the use of conceptual change text strategies in the classroom would be effective in reducing misconception. In addition, the study also states that the use of software can be used to reduce students' misconception on chemical bonding material, which is still often the case. What is the conclusion? Based on the result of the student response, the result of observation of the student activities, and the result of the student conception shift, it can be concluded that software is valid sought by content validity. Average percentage is 88.57% with very valid criteria, and construct validity average percentage is 88.89% with very valid criteria. The practicity of software got 87.41 with very practice criteria. Software effective in detect and reduce misconception that showed by percentage that average shift of conception from misconception to know the concept is 83.53%. So, the software is appropriate to be used to detect and reduce misconception. My conclusion: chemical bonding is one of chemical concepts that often occur misconception. Misconceptions that occur in the student must be reduced so as not to affect the next concept. To reduce misconception, conceptual change text strategy is used, which is a learning strategy to fundamentally change existing concepts or even change them into conceptual frameworks that can be used to solve problems, explain phenomena, and be useful in everyday life for students. I think this is a review from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.